Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the European crossover webinar. And just still getting used to this computer. I thought I'd attach the mic on there, so that actually delayed me. So I was trying to figure out why I didn't have any audio, and the reason I didn't have any audio because my mic wasn't attached. But anyway, we got that resolved. So thank you for patience there. So let's go and take a look here we're on the main screen, and we did see the euro pair back. I thought we might go on and pair back down here to this 1150 overnight. We didn't. One of the big movers was the peso here. I didn't even realize till a few moments ago that I actually got filled and realized that I was long. I just jumped out actually right now. A little bit frustrated. I was thinking when I saw this, I was thinking, man, I can't believe I didn't get filled. I don't know what it was, and I was looking. That was another thing, and so when I saw the pin here, I'm like, and I just saw it dip back, but I caught it right near the low, so I just took a quick jump out of that real quick. It probably should have just gone and hung on to it since we had the central bank meeting, but anyway, that's that. Didn't even know. I mean, until just a few moments ago, didn't even realize that I was even long. Just came in thinking, man, too bad I didn't get long. As I started to get up almost here to 1949 or 1948, and it started back down. Just happened to notice that. So, but anyway, and we've seen the dollar yen. I thought we might be able to push a little bit higher. We talked about this in the daily roundup. It might have a little bit of a tough time with everything that's going on with Hong Kong. I thought, was hoping that we might be able to push a little bit higher and be able to challenge 107. Did not. I mean, we haven't rolled over that much, but maybe we can possibly make one more last dash, but pretty tough road to hoe with everything that's going on with Hong Kong. Kiwi continues to remain weak here. Obviously, the peso, we've had a pretty good sell-off, and I was making the case yesterday because 38% is 1943, and I was indicating, hey, look, if we can go a little bit lower, we can take out 1940. And I think I posted in the room, I think it was like, watch out for 1938. And then beyond that, 1932.5. And I was working in Northern Asia. I didn't even think I even got fills. I went to sleep, and then I came up, and I didn't even realize just a few moments ago, I grabbed a little bit off of there. It wasn't too bad of a size. So even though I didn't jump out right here at that edge here, it still was a decent gain. I didn't even know, and Marcus Pairback, forget it. I'll just exit out of that position. So that was a good little thing to wake up to, but still didn't. I would have liked to have jumped out there, and I was thinking about that when we were thinking that it wasn't even long. But anyway, that being said, I guess waking up a little bit tired. Let's go and take a look here with the Aussie dollar. It has pared back a little bit, but still holding up okay, not too bad. Like I said, peso kind of threw me off a little bit. And then the mic, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get my audio going. Didn't realize I didn't have the mic even plugged in. Let's go on and take a look at the cross rates quickly. And we had seen the Euro Kiwi pair back a bit. Gold just below 1,500. Boy, we had a pretty big. It's going. We'll just move to 30 minutes. But we did see a pretty good pair back here yesterday, and I think probably some late longs is probably keeping this thing from moving a little bit higher. We may have to eventually work a little bit lower. Guppy finally responded a little bit from these ultra lows. Remember we talked about that 126.54? We had that, and I think that nipped it right to the tick almost, or by 2 ticks. And but cable's been starting been so weak, but we finally saw a quick little rebound here on the yen, and same thing, a nice rebound also on the Aussie yen. I was kind of hoping that the Dalian would make it up to about 720. We'll see what happens, but it's still hanging on there. It slows. But let me go and get back to the main screen. And dollar CAD, holding up pretty well overall. Not too bad. I mean, we had taken that dip. Remember, this was the old bias chart support we had from 2 days prior was 31.78. But we had moved this to reflect, hey, this market's holding up really well to reflect, I think it was 32.8, obviously the big dip here with everything that went on yesterday. We almost ended up getting to that. We're still holding up relatively well. I would have thought maybe we may have had to do a little bit more work downstairs. But we're not. And dollar index, it's just hanging around here. Same thing. I would have thought they would have pressed a little bit higher, i.e., the euro then would have come down to 11.50. We haven't yet. But one other thing, let's go and move into that. I think I'm still a little bit groggy, to say the least. Look here with the Bund, new all-time lows again, negative 62. We're continuing to inch up just a little bit higher, but if you're looking for the move, when we can go and see something happening here with the euro, let's say the euro takes off like a scalded dog, it's going to be right here, I think. When we see some kind of reaction here in the bunds, considering how far, look at this, this is just like nutso. Look at that. Unbelievable. But when we see a move, let's say, something just up like this, and then a quick down move here, like let's say it drops down here, I think at that point you get long the euro. No questions asked, because I think that we will see a good rebound then in the euro at that point. But look at this. This is just nutty. Look at that. Look at that move in the bunds. Ten-year yields are going lower, but still the bunds continue to outperform, if you want to go and say, to the downside as far as yields. But you have to wonder how long this is going to maintain itself. And once again, I'll be looking for something to happen. When it does that, that is going to be, I think, is a trigger for the euro at that point. I'm going to jump on long the euro when we see some kind of pair back here. Let's go on and go back into the main screen now. So let's go with the morning bid. Germany wakes up to shrinking GDP. Rarely do you get more significant numbers than today's flash GDP readout from Germany. It showed that the Eurozone's largest economy shrank in the second quarter. And bear with me. Yeah, just getting the squawks in. Of course, we had, as she said, a plethora of data. We get the CPI is going to be out here. Now, once again, my computer clock is, I don't know why this is coming up as 2:30 when it should be 3:30. But anyway, that being said, we did look at the GDP flash, look at the German GDP flash it's referring to, and not good at all. Of course, we have at the top of this next hour, Eurozone GDP coming into the States, import-export prices at 8:30 Eastern. And of course, Mexican Central Bank is going to be here. Move this out of the way. So once again, just to go back to this, rarely do you get more significant numbers than today's flash GDP readout from Germany. Showed the Eurozone's largest economy shrank in the second quarter. And okay, so we did get to new lows in the bunds, but it's not like as if the bunds. Now it is harder once you get the lower you go to rates, but it's not like as if it took another clip. So once again, like I said, I think that we're ripe to come in for some kind of a correction here. Maybe it's starting today. Then let's see if we keep your peepers on that bund, because when we see some kind of a correction in the bund, I think this euro is going to take off like crazy. And if nothing else, just to go and stop the stops above 1228. So you could see a quick, I believe we see this bund come back just on the initial go. We see this bund reverse. I think you rally up about 75 pips in the euro without too much trouble. And I'm talking about within that session, and then we might be able to add beyond that. But so it does mention the economy shrank in the second quarter, caught in the crossfire of a global trade war that has hit exports. Although merely a 1/10 quarter-on-quarter drop, it prompted ING economists this morning to call the end of a golden decade that has seen the economy grow by an average of 0.5% every quarter since 2008-09 recession. It prompts two interlinked questions. Does this mark the start of a wider Eurozone slowdown that the new remaining weapons in the ECB arsenal will be unable to counter? And as we exit the Angela Merkel era, will Germany finally be forced to abandon its balanced budget policy and to start spending? Later this morning, Britain's Office for the National Statistics releases July inflation forecast to show headline inflation below the Bank of England's 2% target. That will reflect the effect of energy prices, caps, and volatile categories such as video games have boosted compared to prices a year earlier. Factory gate inflation also likely to remain soft despite the weak pound. The bottom line is that it's unlikely to support the argument for an interest rate hike anytime soon. The Italian Senate for now may have delayed the push by Matteo Salvini for new elections, but the leader of the far-right league is out there undaunted, making new headlines. The newspaper Corriere della Sera quotes him this morning as saying the high-profile citizens' income scheme introduced by the government this year would need reviewing. I don't want to spend too much time on politics. Has Donald Trump blinked again? Heck yeah, he blinked. Sprinked in the face of the stock market pressure. The pattern of escalating the U.S.-China trade war until the markets take fright, then backing off is becoming familiar. After dropping more than 1% on Monday, the S&P 500 rebounded almost 1.5% overnight after Trump said he would delay until December 10th tariffs on about half of the $300 billion Chinese imports earmarked for the increase on September 1st. Products like smartphones, laptops got 3-month reprieves, ostensibly to avoid the tariffs hitting the U.S. holiday sales at the end of the year. And Apple's share price jumped more than 3%. Further talks for next month were also scheduled. Although U.S. futures stalled, Asian stocks rallied. This is where I thought the Dalian might have done better. Rather disappointing, because I thought we'd get that follow through in Asia, and I thought we had been able to take out 107, and we haven't on Dalian. While the trade war game of chicken plays out, the global economy is suffering. China reported a slowdown in an annual industrial production growth to its slowest in 17 years in July, a lower than expected 4.8%. Retail sales and investment growth also came in below forecast for the month. Adding to the gloom, Germany reported a 0.1% contraction to its economy for the second quarter, setting the German's 10-year bund yield to a record low of minus 62.3. The first thing in Eurostock futures went into negative territory. Global recession fears have been mounting again in recent weeks, and this might have been, well, yeah, I know it did mention that they went into negative, but then once again, in Asia, I would have thought the Dalian would have done better. But anyway, global recession fears have been mounting again in recent weeks, and for all the ebb and flow trade over to the trade, the sheer uncertainty has taken its toll, adding rising possibilities of a no-deal Brexit, possible snap UK elections, increasing violent protests in Hong Kong, and possible intervention from Beijing. Argentina's latest market crash on election fears and latest Italian government crisis and anxiety has risen considerably well before we get likely monetary policy easing next month for the Federal Reserve and ECB. Yeah, you think about this, when you add everything together, with, the thought about Brexit, Hong Kong, China trade war, it just goes on and on. Germany continued to slow down. Not that interest rates are already low, but you would think they'd take another step and kind of spook things, and they haven't. So once again, I think that the bunds are coming to be soon ripe for a correction. Doesn't mean like a big correction, not necessarily, but a correction enough for us to really spark a jump in the euro. As negative bond yields across Europe, U.S. bonds are also flagging the risk of a 2020 recession there. The Treasury yield curve between 3 months and 10 months has been inverted for almost 3 months, now at negative 0.33. On Wednesday, it's close to most negative in 12 years, just before the banking crash over a decade ago and the last major downturn. Some people's move favored measured in the yield curve between 2 years and 10 years is also flashing amber. It's flattened to its lowest since the 2007, yesterday before Trump's partial retreat, and is now closing to inverting for the first time in 12 years. 10-year yields gained little from Trump's move, however, and failed to hold above the 1.7%, hovering now at about 1.67 for the first thing. It's currency markets. The dollar index held firm. Safe haven yen strengthened from yesterday's jump in dollar yen to 106.80, from lows to 105, from 105. Brent crude oil prices slipped back after surging above $60 per barrel on Tuesday. On the trade news, Eurodollar remains peculiarly stable, nudging up to 111.76. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I thought we would made it down to about 11.52. I was chomping at the bit, and I thought that was just going to, honestly, I thought that was probably a done deal, and we didn't. It's really held up very well, especially when you look at that range that we were trading in from about 85 to about 12.28, and maybe even a little bit even higher than 11.85. But basically caught like about the mid 1190s to about that 1228. So you fold that lower, that would have suggested a move. Let's say you're talking about what, 35 pips, maybe. You fold that range down, that takes you down to 1150. So I don't know. It's really holding up exceptionally well, especially with the bund yields keep moving lower. So if bunds do go on and even get a minor reversal, we'll probably see this euro fly off. Yen holds gains as weak China data overshadows Trump's trade concession. The yen held on to gains on Wednesday as weaker than expected Chinese economic data reinforced the view that resolving the trade war was a long way off, even for the President Trump. Offshore yuan remained lower against the dollar after China closely watched industrial output rose in July at the slowest pace in more than 7 years. News from the United States would delay some tariffs supported by Asian stocks, but optimism in the currency market quickly faded on broader concern there is no quick solution to the trade row. The midterm trend is for yen gains because the U.S. has not changed its tough stance on China, said Shunatara Ishikima, chief manager of Forex and financial products at Mitsubishi. There's also some shortcoming overnight, but in Asia, the market quickly ran to real demand to buy the yen. Doggone it. Like I said, really disappointed because I really thought we'd make a move above 107. Against the offshore yuan, the dollar rose 0.3% to 70331. On Tuesday, well, we know he backed off. That's no news. Talking about blinking in a major way. China's industrial output in July rose 4.8% from a year earlier, which was below the median estimate of 5.8%. Hong Kong's airport resumed operations on Wednesday. He thought that would alleviate, probably take a little bit of the bit out of this yen, but hasn't so far. Rescheduling hundreds of flights that had been disrupted this week as protesters clashed with riot police in a deepening crisis in the Chinese-controlled city. 10 weeks of increasingly violent clashes between police and pro-democracy protesters, angered by a perceived erosion of freedoms, have plunged the Asian financial hub into its worst crisis since it became under Chinese rule from Britain in 1997. I do remember that, but that was just a big mistake. I don't know. Anyway, let's go on and move on to the price chart. Okay, let's go on and move into bias chart support here. And we do have UK data at the bottom of the hour. We'll keep a close eye on that. So I think with the euro, we can take a look at the daily, but it's all about where we are right now. We pretty much know where things are right now. You can see here we're sliding back. And this remains the same here. I'm going to stay with this, which is going to be this 1152, 50-ish area here. Stick with this 1152. We did talk about it. It could slide a little bit lower, maybe 1145-ish, but I still like that area. Resistance, there's no change. Well, 1228 is still that main resistance. There's really no change here. At this point, because any kind of pop, especially as well as the euro's holding up here, you can see that here. We could quickly make a quick pop up to 12, maybe get up to 1208 without even blinking. You see what I'm saying? So the real resistance, once again, is this 1228. No changes there. It's held like a rock. Let's go move on to the cable. Well, we still remain fairly weak. No changes here. We're going to go and keep this here at 1989. You can see that here. And on the upside, let's go and take a look here on the 2-hour chart. It's going to remain this 2094. No changes here. Because we could, as oversold as cable, we could quickly jump back up there. So no changes there. Let's go and move into the Aussie dollar. I don't see any changes here either. It sounds crazy, but of course it's August, slow trading. No changes here in the Aussie, 68.16. You can see that right here. Downside, we'll give it some room here, and 67.28. No changes here on the Aussie. Let's go move into the Kiwi. Same thing here. Look how quiet we are trading this Kiwi. Man, that is very, very quiet after this torrential downfall. Yeah, same thing here, 64.97 low. We have held the 64.36. We're going to stay with that. Let's take a look here. We could move that just a hair lower. But we've held here. We're really holding well. Yeah, just to right there, 64.25. Right there. And let's go move into dollar CAD. Well, let's take a look at the daily. And we do have a medium-legged doji. Okay, see that? That's a very good medium-legged doji. So, as we've talked before, medium-legged doji, bulls don't have control, bears don't have control. We finish in the middle. What's been the previous range? Well, you can see that's been on the upside, so it suggests we move a little bit lower. Well, we're actually defying that right now. And I thought we might be able to break a little bit lower after this pretty good run here. But we're still holding up relatively well. We're actually going to go on and dip this down to what we had at the beginning of the week, which is going to be 31.78. On the upside, let's go and move into the 2-hour chart. Boy, it's August trading for sure. It's going to be 32.78, 32.78. We got this 32.71, but we've given it this extra low room, so it's going to be 32.78 on the upside. Which we've got here. And then the big mover of the day before we take a look at that at sterling. Now, actually, you know, when we look at sterling, we're going to move into the cross rates. Hang on a moment. Let me go in. There we go. So with the pace, we've already seen the moves. Pretty good move here. And we talked about this. With the 1943 is at 38%. And one of the things we mentioned in the chat room, I said, watch this 1938. And the stretch was going to be 32.35. Let's move into the 2-hour chart. We did go on to come down here. Look, we had a pretty good little dip, got into 36s, and this is actually I got lucky. I didn't even think I was filled. I came in this morning, didn't think I was filled, and I was a bit disappointed because, like I said, when I woke up, I think we were right here, and then we jumped up in here and like, man, I can't believe it. I probably should have just gone and bought it at the market, because actually that's what happened. We were down here, and I moved. I actually just put a bid in. I didn't want to. I didn't move. The bid was not that far off, but quickly the market started. It dipped down and then made it move higher. And then I was watching it later on. It was up to 1940. I'm like, oh man, I probably should have gone with that. And then of course, then I came up this morning and already made a move. But it was an okay, decent amount of size. So I did okay, even though I jumped out. And I was happy because at that point, then I was like, nah, I don't like to see a move like that. And then I don't even get out. It wasn't that far away from the high. But anyway, that being said, support now. I think that's tough to get it now. It's actually going to be now at right there. Let's call it 1940. And on the upside, who knows? Because that's central bank. That's what I'm saying. I probably could have stuck with the flyer, but anyway, so it's going to be 1940, and on the upside, let's call it 1953. But obviously, if the central bank cuts, then we'll see a pretty good little move. Okay, let's go and move into the cross rates and get ready for UK data. Yeah, let's go and get this over here. There we go. Here's the guppy, the sterling nod, and obviously the cable here. I was going to keep on the squat, but I don't want people to be saying I'm broadcasting that information. So I actually switched up the squat just now. Even though it was on the background, you could barely even make it. It was barely audible. But so we have core CPI, PPI, and here we go. Another 20 seconds. As I mentioned, my clocks are all messed up right now. This clock says it's 1 hour later. This clock says it's an hour. Okay, here we go. Just got the data. Nice little jump here in cable. CPI, core CPI, minus 1/10. The actual, that was a poll. We actually came up positive, which is a surprise. So we see a little bit of a rebound here. You can see here on Guppy, just move a little bit higher. I would have said that we'd be looking at 28.72 here on this resistance. Not as much of a reaction as I would have thought of. Even here with the cable, I'd have thought a little bit better. But we are 2069 here, and we have 2094 as our resistance on the bias chart. PPI, look, nice, decent here on the PPI. Here, look, 0.9%. They're expecting 0.5. Core CPI, they're expecting minus 0.1. They came in a positive 0.1. Good numbers there. I would have expected a little better reaction here, though. Let's go and move back into the main screen. And you can see here, cable still continued to weaken from here. That's what, like I said, I was a little bit, I almost stuck with it as a flyer, but but I got out around here, I guess it was, but we'd already made that jump here. So see, we'll continue to move lower. And it turned out to be, I mean, for me as a scalper, very, very ultra short-term trader, I guess it turned out good that I got out, but this is our support here since 1940. Let's go move into Dalian. This one's frustrating because I thought that we would have taken out 107 in the Asian session, but was not to be. Hang on. Well, we already talked about where the resistance is. We're talking about 709. There's a 2-hour level there, and 718 is a 50%, but we're not even anywhere close to this. So right now, the resistance level is 672. I thought we could have squeezed this market higher. Guess that demand for yen is really strong. Downside, some good volume coming right there, which is going to be 601. 601. We had 709 as this level right here, and then 719 is the 50%. And I even pointed out a little level here too if they overshot, and I thought we might have been able to get that. We have not. But there's 709, and 50% of this is 718. You've got this little upper little zone here at 729. I thought that it was just going to pop up in here and then fail somewhere in there, but we've the demand for yen remains strong. Let's go on and move into the cash dollar index. Resistance remains 97.89. We even talked about it could even push up to 97.95. So far it has not. Let's come back in here. 97.89 is a huge level, but we're going to get a little bit of room. You see it right there. We'll call it 97.93. Thought we could have pushed up a little bit higher here just on some short covering. It has so far has not matriculated, but we'll go with that. 97.89 is huge, but can we get a little bit of an overshoot? Yeah, and that little bit of an overshoot can get us to 97.93. See, we're just moving at 4 ticks. Downside. Right there, 97.38. Peso continues to weaken a little bit further. We'll move into the cross rates. Let me get a drink of water. would have expected a bigger reaction cable, but we're not seeing that. Let's go moving now to the okay, let's see here. We just certainly did see a little bit of a reaction here. Let's go on and right there, you see that? That'd be, well, that's actually where it stopped it. Look right there. You see that? That's why I always go with the body touches. 69.12, and it looks like the market may have taken that out by just a few pips. Let's move this into the 2-hour chart. And the high was 69.16, so by 4 pips above those body touches. So at 69.12, well, actually, you saw the reaction already, so the market's not too impressed. So it's actually going to be right there. $68.88. Support. $68.28. $68.28. And on to the euro yen. Same thing here. Those moves in the yen I thought would have been a little bit stronger, and they have not at this time. So right now, there's your trigger for to go higher, which is going to be 1930. Support comes in right there. Actually, right there. 1861. Euro is holding up well, and see the euro's at 1183. Like I said, thought we would have made that dip. This euro is holding up like a tank, and well, I suggest keeping a very close eye on the buttons. Probably not going to see anything happen today, but when we do see it, that's when they're going to see this euro just take off, and I would not be in the way of this euro when if you see this bund pair back at all. Remember, the bund has led the charge lower before the 10-year yields have. So if it does react, you're going to get that more extra bit of juice, especially in the euro. Support right now is going to be this 64, 63. With upside, be careful with this euro. I think it would really take off. 65.44 for right now. Euro Kiwi. $73.89. And support is just a hair below. $72.84. And actually it's even hold up better than that. So it's going to be back to this level right here, which is $72.93. Moving to the Ocean. Right there. 72.39. So it comes in right there. 71.80. 71.80. And for the guppy, certainly think this we could see a better reaction here. It's going to be 28.70. Right there. 27.88. And on to Sterling Odd. Seeing somewhat better reaction here. We're going to go and keep this resistance here, 78.81. Got 82, that's fine. With support right there, 77.68. We can see here that the peso continues to weaken a bit here. Everything else is relatively quiet. Dalian just kind of hanging now. This is 638. Dollar itself not doing a whole lot. And dollar CAD still continuing a very nice bid here. Crude oil is pared back a bit, not a whole lot, but it's pared back a bit. Other than that, that's it. It's relatively quiet, slow August trading for now. We do have Mexican Central Bank later on this morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, and I'll go and get this posted. Thanks for joining us here on the European Crossover.